Feedlots and aquaculture. Eating animal products has significant impacts. The world, the world population of domesticated animals raised for food nearly tripled between 1961 and 2000. Global meat production has increased fivefold since 1950, and per capita meat consumption has nearly doubled. This high consumption of meat has led to feedlot agriculture. Feedlots, or factory farms, are concentrated animal feeding operations in which animals are housed in huge warehouses or pens where, where energy-rich food is provided to animals living at extremely high densities. There are benefits and drawbacks to feedlots. Uh, some of the benefits include, uh, probably the biggest one is that there's greater production of food, and this may be unavoidable in countries with high levels of meat consumption like the US. Secondly, they take livestock off the land and reduce the impact um, as far as overgrazing or soil degradation they would have on it. Drawbacks of feedlots include contributions to water and air pollution, the buildup of waste and the diseases that outbreaks of disease, and heavy use of antibiotics in these operations, which can have implications on our healthcare system. Our food choices are also energy choices. Okay, and if you remember back to the idea about the trophic levels, that between each trophic level on a food chain, as you move up one notch from, say, producers to primary consumers, you lose about 90% of the energy. So the lower on the food chain our food sources are, the greater the proportion of the sun's energy we put to use as food, and the more people Earth can support. There's also other environmental ramifications of eating meat. Land and water are needed to raise food for the livestock, and producing eggs and chicken meat requires the least space and water, whereas producing beef requires the most space and water. These differences, right, between energy output, water use, land use, make clear that when we choose what to eat, we are also indirectly choosing how to make use of resources. Aquaculture is the fastest growing type of food production. Uh, our wild fish populations are plummeting, and we need to find another way to get this protein source. And one of those ways is through the idea of aquaculture. Raising fish and shellfish on fish farms in controlled environments is called aquaculture. And it may be the only way to meet the demand for these foods, as most fisheries are either stressed or overharvested. Aquaculture brings a number of benefits. For instance, aquaculture provides a reliable source of protein for developing countries. On a small scale, aquaculture is sustainable and is compatible with other activities. At a large scale, aquaculture helps improve a nation's food security. Aquaculture reduces fishing pressure on wild stocks, and aquaculture relies far less on fossil fuels than do fishing vessels and is very energy efficient. Aquaculture has negative environmental impacts as well. The dense concentrations of farmed animals can increase the incidence of disease and necessitates the use of antibiotics. Aquaculture can also produce large amounts of waste, both from the organisms being farmed and from uneaten food. And last, the escape of farmed animals into the environment can have negative consequences, including spreading disease, outcompeting native species, and introducing new genetic material into a native population. All right, thank you for listening to this lecture on aquaculture and feedlots. And that is the end.